Let's be real. Too many of us are out here giving VIP experiences to people who wouldn't even pay for general admission. Your attention is expensive and you have to act as such. So go ahead and grab your cup. We got to talk about it.
Been that, still that, will always be mwah, that girl.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Mikhail J back with another episode, and this episode is entitled Stop Giving Discounted Access. So what we're going to talk about today is just how we are interacting with those who drain us rather than those who pour us into us. That's what I meant. In reality, I am currently dealing with this, right? I think I'm at a place really professionally as well as personally with some people that's just like, you don't get the most out of me no more. I'm going to give you this. This is all I can give you. It won't go no higher. It won't go no lower. This is it. Because when I deal with you, when I interact with you, when you've supposed to be holding me down, rocking with me, you show me that you're not going to do it. So what am I pouring into, right? And I say this, and it was on my heart to talk about it today because I had a different topic planned, but it was really on my heart to talk about it today because there is an emotional tax with being too available. And when I say too available, I think we mean about going and doing something for people, doing something for people, which I have also cut back on. But I also mean just the strain of having to pour into people who don't pour back into you and that disappointment cycle. I literally, professionally, I can speak from experience right now. Professionally, I've worked with somebody. I thought it was going to go a certain way, and it wasn't. And instead of spending my time trying to battle this idea of how this relationship should go or how this work relationship should go for sure, I just accepted it for what it was and realized that I cannot bring 1,000,000,000% into something that is only giving me 5. Same thing personally, right? Family members, same situation. Friends, same situation. If you ain't giving me nothing, and when I say giving me something, I don't mean like physically giving me something or money or something, but like if talking to you doesn't bring me joy, but talking to you brings me responsibilities, extra work, irritation, emotional strain, we got to stop talking so much, okay? And if you want to people I don't have to talk to at all, we just probably won't talk at all, right? Because it's always something going on. Like, damn, you don't got no ideas. You can't fix nothing. There's always something going on with you. Them the people I'm talking about. It's just draining, right? It's just draining. And we can't continue to let those people pull on our heartstrings, right? And with that comes a guilt that I'm very familiar with. Just feeling like, damn, well, don't nobody else do it for them. Don't nobody else do this for them. Don't nobody else. You can understand, but then it gets to a point where we overstanding. And in this process of overstanding, you just giving too much damn empathy. Some of this stuff is self-inflicted. Some of these problems is self-inflicted because they're making poor decisions and expecting you to pick up the pieces. And I be damned. I just don't got it in me no more. So I wanted to come to you today to talk about that. And so I have a couple of sections that we're going to touch base on. And I'm very, very much excited. So when we talk about this topic, we have to talk about the signs of being emotionally drained, right? So I'm going to tell you, emotionally draining people, you picking up the phone with an attitude, you see their name pop up on your phone, you like, oh, what the hell they want now? Oh, Lord. You see them coming and you like, oh, Jesus, I hope they don't say nothing to me. I hope nothing else ain't wrong now. You don't associate that person with good feelings. You don't associate that person with happiness and peace. You associate them with needing something. Being needy, being sad, being aggravating, talking too much, always having something going on. Those are your key signs that person is emotionally draining to you. That's it, right there. And that's somebody who's currently dealing with, when I say currently, professionally and in my personal life, of just dealing with people who, y'all, when was the last time you actually called and checked on me? You didn't check on me at all. But you've also, I know all the sad things that have happened to you in the past 4 or 5 months. I know all of the terrible things that you weren't able to do in the past 4 or 5 months. Yet you probably couldn't tell me one thing I went through this week. Those are the people that we are trying to push away, or not even push away, but set boundaries around, because in these instances, right, in my particular instances, these are people I have to talk to, that I'm going to talk to, that I'm going to interact with. And so to be able to do that, You got to put some boundaries around how you interact with them, right? In that note, I feel like there's kind of like beyond people just asking you to do something, because that is a whole different category. I feel you have those who come in emotionally dumped. It's always something wrong. You always going through something. It's always some pain. It's always something. That's one group. That's a group of people who are emotionally dumping on you. And then you have this other group who think they're going to tell you something that's sad, depressing, angry, unfortunate, to be able to get something out of you. Emotionally manipulative people. And I think I went through a point in my life where I dealt with compulsive liars. They're still there because emotionally manipulative people, they might not even be lying. That really might be how they see the situation. But you're telling me this in hopes that I do something. You're not telling me this because I inquired. You're not telling me this because my cat is literally under here doing the most. But you're not telling me this because you think, I don't know what they think, because what you telling me for? You know what I mean? You want to tell me something because you expect something out of me. And I'm past that in my life, okay? And so with that comes me like kind of being distant. They don't get the excited, loving, hugging. Oh, I'm so excited to see you. How you doing? How your day going? Blah, blah, blah. They don't get that from me anymore. They used to, but they don't anymore. I could care less. And not even saying that I could care less because I don't care about them, but I could care less because I know you want something. You're not telling me because you want me to know or that my opinion even matters to you. You're just telling me because you want me to do something. And with that, like I said, comes you being mean, quote unquote, the myth of being mean. That's what I like to call it. They only call you mean because you're not doing what they want you to do. I was just listening to, me and my wife went to a Project Pat concert. I'm going to do like a short to recap that. But me and my wife went to a Project Pat concert this weekend. And Yes by Beyonce came on. If you don't know that song because you're too young, please go listen to it. She gave the girls what the girls needed to know, okay? But in the thing, she was like, dang, the minute I say no, it's like I never said yes before. And I was telling my wife, like, I want to tell girls so many times, like, tell that man no. When he want a hunch, tell him no for the first time and see how he act. That will probably help you a lot of the ways. It will help you get forward. Because you like, ooh, you tripping. Because I told you no. Because I didn't want to hunch. I told you no. Now I'm all types of B's and H's. Or you acting decent or you acting funny. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely not. That's a red flag. I think I want to do the same thing with friends. I think I want to apply that to every part of my life though. Like, I say no to you. How do you act? Right? I think it lets us know what it is. You treat me like the bad guy, like I ain't never told you yes before. And it's painful to watch people treat you like that, but at the same time, you need them to treat you like that so you know not to fool with them no more. That you know that you can't, oh, I can't do nothing for you now. Okay? Now I say no before I say yes. And if you do that, you kind of dismantle this idea of being a strong friend, being the fixer of all the issues. Everybody uses me. Well, not everybody, because I have a lot of people in my life that don't. But a lot of people use me as she got the solution. She gonna fix it. She gonna step in. She gonna go the extra mile. She gonna go the extra step. I don't want to be there. I don't want to be that no more. I don't want to be that anymore, because when I needed that person to do the extra step, when I needed that person to come and work with me, come and support me, it didn't happen. And so it brought in extra strife for me when I could have easily just, not did any of this and not had this issue, because you shouldn't have been asking that of me anyway, period. And then you're not cold. So people will try to, once you take away this emotions or all this attention right now with somebody who really has disappointed me in so many ways, has disappointed me in so many ways. This person in a professional space has shown me that I cannot really depend on them for certain things. It really I just stopped pouring into that relationship. And now I'm cold, quote unquote. I'm acting different, quote unquote. I'm not acting different. You don't get that side of me no more. You only get work. Same thing with one of the people in my family. That person, you literally only call me when you need something. I actually can't tell you for years the last time that person's actually checked on my well-being, like in real life. And it hit me, of course, a little later, because sometimes it doesn't come like in the front ground. But it hit me, and I'm like, let me see something. I don't give no energy to it. I'm not excited. I'm not hurt. I'm not giving you a whole bunch of emotions. I'm not giving you a whole bunch of conversation. I'm not giving you nothing. And now, from both of those people, it's like a desperate energy around it. Like, oh, you acting funny. Oh, you acting mean. I'm not cold. I'm conserving, girl. I'm conserving my energy to people who deserve my energy. And that's just that on that. Okay? That's just that on that. The next thing or next space I wanted to do is healthy detachment is self-respect. So in the areas of friendship, professionalism, relationships, and I always separate friendship and relationships, but they're really the same thing. If you don't have, if you're not pouring into your friendships like you pour into your relationships, you already on the lower end of success. Okay, I'm just gonna be transparent. I'm gonna tell you. If you are not a good friend, you're probably not gonna be a good wife or husband. Just what it is. Anyway, so learning to love people from a healthy distance. So if there's any person in my life who I have loved, I probably still have love for that person. That does not mean they're in my life at all. I love them for what they added to my life. I love them for what lessons I learned in that period of my life. I probably needed them in that period of my life, but I'll never talk to them again. It's so many. I'm like, oh, I'll never speak to you again. You don't need to know this person, right? And that's okay. Like, that's not pain. And that healthy distance could easily be me not talking to you at all and me giving you this much instead of giving you this much like you used to. But be mindful, as we just talked about, when you start telling niggas no, sorry, I try not to say niggas. When you start telling people no, when you start telling people no, you're mean. She got a nasty attitude. She this, that, and the third. Because now they're upset that you're not complying. So they'll tell anything and anybody to repaint a picture of you that's not true. And so now you're going to let somebody that you know lie too much paint a picture for you to tell you who you are? Absolutely not. You're not a fool. You too smart for that. And then with that, right, comes to that thing, and it's two sides to this. Distance does not equate beef or anger. So you have to, one, accept the fact that, like, I'm not talking to them. It doesn't mean I'm mad at them. It doesn't mean I'm angry at them. I could just not talk to them because I don't want to talk to them. And then also understanding that people cannot talk to you because you're not good for them. And that's okay. You could be the best person. You could be walking in your purpose. You could be the greatest person you're supposed to be. It does not mean you're supposed to talk to everybody, and it doesn't mean that that's an asset to everyone in their life. That's okay. So being able to balance both of those. And then last but not least, identify when to disconnect versus when you need to be communicating. So I say, I have this like thing. I'll try 1 or 2 times with you, depending on how close you are to me, right? I'll try 1 or 2 times with you. I might even try 3 times. I just had a friendship that kind of went to the wayside because you know how you try to bring stuff up? I've tried to bring stuff up. I try to have these conversations and nothing really changed. So in reality, and then a situation happened. But of course, I always say I'm a strong believer in if God wants you to close the door and you don't close it, He's going to slam it in your face. And that's exactly what happened. That's on me. I'm hard-headed. But I know that I can't talk to that person anymore, right? I shouldn't talk to that person. But I should have known that when I first tried to communicate and it didn't work out. And then the second time I tried to communicate and it didn't work out. You know what I mean? Like, that is the basis of the things. Learning when to go ahead and cut it off and when to communicate. I feel like, and again, I'm not a therapist, so who knows? But I feel like the first thing that you should do is try to communicate it. Now, if it's falling on deaf ears, if they changing the story, if they not trying to see a point of view, if it's a you, go ahead. Okay, cool, you right. And be done. I'm done. Ain't nothing else to discuss. Because some people in your life just ain't gonna get the picture. They're not gonna try to get better. They're not gonna try to alter anything. They are who they are. And I love that they are in their authentic selves. But that ain't got shit to do with me. So I'm going to leave you be. Exactly. And then last but not least is guarding your time like it's sacred. So I think that we don't appreciate time until it's gone. And I think that with people in like real life, when people pass away, when you look back at moments like, dang, I should have did this. It's a whole lot of regret. People live in regret a lot. And I made a short / TikTok. I post them both. But I made a video earlier this week, was like, sometimes dealing with the consequences is a lot easier than dealing with the regret. And it is, right? So treating your time like it's sacred. Go ahead and doing all the things you want to do. Go ahead and not doing all the things that you don't want to do. Right? So your calendar doesn't have to be open to everybody. Everybody don't get your access. I had one of my homeboys who has shown up to me for me in so many ways. When I say so many ways, so many ways. He texted me. He was like, hey, my birthday party this day. You gonna pull up? Absolutely. 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 I will take the drive. I will go to Ways. I will do the place. I will do that for you. And then there's some people in my life who I know birthday coming up. Even if I was free, I probably wouldn't go. Even if I was free, I probably wouldn't. It has nothing to do with anything. Whereas this other friend who I know has poured into me so many times, I have like 2 major events happening back to back the day before his party. But guess what? I'm going to go both of them events, and then I'm still going to go to that party. That has nothing to do with anything, right? And it's just because valuing people who value me, valuing people who pour into me, valuing people who speak highly of me when I'm not in a room. I think a lot of times, and I'm in this era where it's like I'm not finna keep going back and forth or trying to explain what you did to me. If I peeped it, if I noticed it, if it made me feel uncomfortable, and I've tried to talk to you about it before, there's nothing else to talk about. I'm just not gonna fool with you the same way. And you should do the same thing, truthfully and transparently. You really should. And yeah, you just really should. I don't even want to say, like, there's no disclaimer. You should. If you peep it, you feel it, you tried to talk about it, it was dismissed, didn't nobody care, nothing changed. Fuck them. You know that tip that like, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And it's just because in this day and age, and in this, if you're in the United States, in this climate that we're in right now, you really don't have time or energy to have nobody around you that's not going to rock with you 100%. And that's just the tea. However, I always say, yes, we spent a lot of this episode talking about people that don't pour you, don't pour into you, don't do the things, don't do the things. But with the people who do the things, right? Who pour into you, who check on you, who love on you, who send you silly memes because they're thinking about you, those people are the people that you should be giving that energy back to. Those are the people that you should be prioritizing. Those are the people that you should be doing special things for. Those are the people. Because we talk about not having a village, but then when we do have people who are showing us that they want a village with us, we don't show up. And then you're sitting back in this space where it's like, oh, I don't have a village. You don't have a village because you haven't showed up. Again, just some tea. So just put that in your mind. People who have big not even big families, but like villages seem like people are always showing up for them. It seems like people are doing this is because they show up for people who show up for them. That's why they have a village, okay? So if you find yourself battling like, oh, I don't have nobody to care about me, I can't call nobody to share my good news with, I can't do none of that, what part are you playing? Are you looking? Are you participating in society? You want good friends, but you're not a good friend. You want people who gonna listen to you, but you don't listen well. You want people who care about you, but you don't care. Like, it's like you don't get that. Good communities, when you're building communities, when you're building relationships, it don't come from that. You don't get those if you don't participate in them fully. So just keep that in mind. I have a challenge for you this week. Keep me a good challenge. But I want you to audit your energy. Audit your energy. I want you to, and I put dates on it, so day 1 and 2. Okay, day 1 and 2, I want you to list 5 people that pour into you, 5 people who do not pour into you, right? Or 5 people that take away from you, 5 people that drain you versus the 5 people who pour into you, right? List those people out. It's okay. Because sometimes it's somebody who you be like, damn, I ain't talked to them in forever, but they ride for me all the time. You should be talking to them more frequently. If you talk to the person who pisses you off more than you talk to the people that make you happy, you wonder why your life full of piss. That's what you want. That's what you entertaining. That's the narrative that you're entertaining. Okay? So day 1 and 2, you're listing 5 people who pour into you versus 5 people who do not. Day 3 through 5, I want you to set one clear boundary with one of those 5 people that get on your damn nerves. One clear boundary. If they call me past 6 o'clock, I ain't gonna answer. I ain't gonna answer. If they call me at work, I ain't gonna answer. Whatever the rule it is, okay? So that might get them just an hour to get in contact with you. If they don't call you during the end, they gotta wait. But yeah, doing that, or something as simple as, I'm not gonna go out of my way to check on them no more. I'm not gonna go out of my way to keep a conversation with them no more. Because I'm keeping a conversation and it seems like they don't want to talk to me. It seems like they don't want to be bothered with me. It seems like they don't want to. They treat you like an ugly ex-girlfriend or ugly ex-boyfriend. Absolutely not. Fuck no. You're not an ugly ex-boyfriend. You a bad bitch. You're a baddie. Okay? So definitely setting that boundary, day 3 through 5. And then day 6 through 7, I want you to spend time intentionally pouring back into yourself. So journaling, watching good videos, making yourself laugh, going out to get some ice cream, maybe rearranging your closet, whatever it is that makes you feel happy, playing a video game all day, whatever it is that makes you feel great, I want you to do that. I want you to do it because sometimes we look outside for outward validation and we forget that it comes from inside. You are the only person whose opinion should matter to you. Everyone else is an addition. You don't need the additions, truthfully. It's nuts. It's people who are absolutely nuts. I don't want to say there's a public figure right now who's absolutely nuts and they do whatever the hell they want to do. And we were screaming from the top of our lungs, we hate this. They like so. I want you to be confident like that. That's the type of confidence I want you to have, okay? So, again, I know this is a process. It's a process I'm working on as well. But please identify those people who are draining you and stop giving them VIP energy. They are not a very important person. They're not a very important person. They are not very important people. They are just someone who's trying to hold a spot in your life because you are important, because you are valuable, because you have talents, because you are an asset. And if you don't recognize that, people like that going to continue to leech off you because they know that you don't know. You can't spend the rest of your life not knowing, okay? So, as always, if this works for you, you love this, I'm your cup of tea, you like to be on FaceTime with me, then make sure you like, subscribe, and send this to somebody who you love, who pours into you, and let them know that you appreciate them. Have a great week.
Been that, still that, will always be, that girl.